we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun.
Hey guys, and welcome to yet another speed build. I think it's going to be Wednesday. This is out. Happy Wednesday and welcome to an extra special video. This one is the Gucci Treehouse build. It's the Gucci off the grid Treehouse build. And this video today was made possible by Gucci. Yep, that's what I said. It has been a great pleasure and honor to be part of this collaboration. I think it's so nice to have a company like Gucci contacting members of the Sims community and collaborating with us directly rather than doing kind of like an EA pack thing. So yeah, myself and Grim Cookies have collaborated with Gucci. I am doing this treehouse build, which was inspired by their concept artwork. The Gucci Off the Grid collection uses a treehouse for their campaign, and so that was the inspiration for this. And then Grim Cookies has also collaborated with them, and his part of the bundle deal that you'll get, which is going to be linked down below in the description box, is he created the Gucci ad campaigns with Sims full renders. They look amazing, so make sure you check out his video for all of the parts that he did for this collab. And also he created the Gucci Off the Grid products, which you'll see also showcased in this video. So their Gucci Off the Grid campaign is the first in their Gucci circular lines offering, and it uses all sustainable materials or reuses, and that's what they're kind of aiming to do. There's the Gucci Equilibrium website, which I'm going to link down below, and also you'll see it up on your screen now. It tells you all about Gucci's efforts towards a more sustainable future, which I think is wholly important, and especially for such a big company like Gucci to be showcasing this and also using the Sims community to highlight such a great cause, because I think we can all do our bit to help climate change and the environment. Yes, climate change is real. So yeah, if you want to know more about what Gucci are doing for the environment and trying to change their whole way of working to help the environment, then definitely go to their website and you'll find all the details, more details on that. I did a little bit of research, of course. Once I got this project, I had a look myself, and the number one thing which I'm going to say on this collection to highlight is that all of the materials used are sustainable or they are recycled. So the main material for most of the Gucci Off the Grid collection is accessories. It's an accessories collection. There are a few jackets as well, but it's mainly accessories. And they use Eco Nylon, which is, in case you hadn't broken it apart, Eco Nylon, which is recycled from old fishing nets, old carpets. It's post and pre-consumer waste is what they're using to do it. I know that the buckles, even things like the buckles on the Gucci duffel bag, are recycled and reused. So yeah, definitely check out their website to know more about all the different elements that are a part of this. But back to my little part of this. So this Gucci Off the Grid Treehouse was inspired by, I said, their ad campaign, but also they sent me over a concept that they had for the campaign. So I'm going to put that on the screen now. You'll see that this was very straight up and down. And The Sims doesn't really allow me to build it like that. So I used my imagination, and you'll see that I was able to do this here. I think this is classed as like 3 different floors at the moment. I was able to do this, and then I've got the 3rd level just kind of slightly off to the side, but this is fully play tested. You'll see there are tiny elements that aren't for use and more for decoration, but it is fully play tested and it's available for download. The link is in the description, as always. I'm going to say it's very important in this one to look at the description box because there's going to be so much information in there. So please make sure to check that out. This will also be available on the gallery as well, but there are pieces of custom content in this. So do make sure you tick the include custom content in the advanced search options if you want it. There are a few items from Tiny Travelers, I think, and of course also Grim Cookies, Gucci Off the Grid CC items. So it's probably easiest to use the link down below to go and get the tray files. I'm going to make sure that I include instructions of how to install houses from tray files in there as well. I'm going to leave all of that there because I know sometimes it's a little bit confusing and people don't really know how to use tray files to install houses, but it's super simple. Once you know how, you'll think, well, why didn't I do this sooner? So yeah, that's all going to be linked in the description, but I should talk more about this here build. This Gucci Off the Grid collection, I think, works so well hand in hand with the concept of living off the grid in The Sims, and also the new-ish eco lifestyle expansion pack, which I think was done pretty damn well. I know we were wanting eco concepts in the game for a long while, and it's so great to have them in there now. So living off the grid, I think, is a lovely concept for some. I don't think personally off the grid life is for me, but I think every once in a while it's great to be able to disconnect, recharge, do all that good stuff. So yeah, I do very much support every once in a while just disconnecting from everything, and so I think this would be a great vacation place for me. Not quite my style for living, you know, as a YouTuber. I don't think I can really say that I'm an off the grid kind of person, but yeah, it's so nice to be able to disconnect every once in a while. So, and also I think that The Sims allows us to be able to kind of play out new concepts and new ways of living that we had never thought of before. So that's what I also love about the game, is being able to play through new things that you've never thought about before. Sometimes there's things that you would never do in real life, but in The Sims you do it all the time. So I think it's great sometimes to play around with this, especially with this subject of sustainability. You get to think about new concepts. So I've tried to really focus in for this build, making sure that I have brought in elements of real life. I've thought about how this would be made in real life, and also brought it together with how we use The Sims. So you'll see like things like the wallpaper there is from Eco Lifestyle, and that wallpaper gives you a discount on your bills, number one, and it is also reclaimed wood, which is very much what we're aiming to do. This entire Gucci Off the Grid Treehouse is about sustainability, so that it links and is parallel with the Gucci Off the Grid collection itself, which is all about sustainability and reducing and recycling. So yeah, the wallpaper gives you a bill discount. I must say though, I've used it, but I also have a few lot traits to add a little bit of realism to this one. So I've got this listed down. Here we go. Yes, so the wallpaper gives you a discount. Also, it increases your green eco footprint, which is very important in The Sims, because not only in The Sims but in real life, not only can you improve the eco footprint of your lot, but doing that together combined with other things will equal a better green eco footprint for your neighborhood and of course the rest of the world as well. So that very much is the same as in life. We can all do a little bit and it will improve the environment overall. So on this one, I've added in some lot traits for a little bit of realism. So I've put this into an eco lot. That means this lot moves towards eco-friendliness faster than others. So all of these extra green efforts that we have put into this build will mean that you will have a greater impact on the environment. And that's very much links in. And then we have the off the grid lot trait. Funnily enough, this is my first ever off the grid build that I have ever done. I've been meaning to do an off the grid build for a very long time, but I finally done one. I couldn't think of a better one, but yes, this lot has the off the grid lot trait. This lot is not connected to the utility grid, and most objects that use power or water will not function as expected. Can your sim survive without the comforts of conventional plumbing and electricity? Natural living does have its advantages, such as no utility bills. So your wallpaper, if you choose to not use the off the grid lot trait, your utility bills will be reduced using that reclaimed wall. Of course, it's from shipping containers, pallets, things like that. But if you choose not to do that, that will reduce your bills. But we have the off the grid, so you won't get bills anyway. We've used stuff that will increase your eco-green footprint, but also reduce your bills. But off the grid cancels all your bills anyway. But because we are off the grid and we still need a little bit of home comforts, I have put in energy sources so that your Sims can still have things like a stove, like running water, some kind of electrical objects. So I've added in windmills because we're thinking here about sustainability and the environment and having as low an impact as possible. So the windmills that I'm going to put in a little bit, I've used windmills as the source of generating power instead of solar panels, because in this one I wanted it to be that we had a minimal impact into the environment that we are putting this build into. And the solar panels take up quite a bit of space. They're great for roofs, but we don't really have traditional roofs on here. So there wasn't the space for them. Otherwise, they would have to go on the ground. And the wind turbines have a much smaller footprint, so I went with those instead. And then we also have a water, it's called a dew collector in the game. So you're going to have your water, you've got your power, and you should be able to cook and live here perfectly. So fingers crossed. You'll see here I'm just putting in the third floor, and I'm putting in these very, very cozy, cute looking string lights here, which give a great cozy feel to the build. The roofs here, I do change them after I finish this. I was like, why did I use dirt on the roof? I'm not too sure. So I changed the roofs to green roofs. Again, it's great for insulation. In the real world, green roofs are very good for insulation. Of course as well, quality of air. Anytime you're adding in green, you're improving the quality of the air around you. So we put in green roofs throughout the build, and also planted it with some grasses and some flowers that are very bee friendly. I recently discovered how important bees are for the overall ecosystem, and funnily enough, EA did sponsor and purchase, I think, bees for everyone for all of the game changes, just to show you how important bees are. I know in real life, in new builds, there is a lot done to try and conserve the environment for bees, and that's another thing that we aim to do in this one, I say we, it's the royal we, it's me. I try to make sure that there was a great environment for bees to pollinate from flower to flower. So very important, bee friendly flowers all over this lot. Now, some of the principles in building this, I know The Sims works a little bit differently sometimes, would be that this was of course an entry lot to start off with, but in real life you'd have an original, an existing lot to work with. So some of these things that I'm building, we're going to pretend are already existing, and some of them are brand new. So for example, this tree that we are building around, we're going to say already existed, and what I wanted to do was try and build a structure around the existing tree and have it have a minimal impact on the environment, so that the existing ecosystems are not disturbed. And that's really a concept that I see used quite a lot in these types of off-the-grid builds, is trying to have a minimal impact on the environment. And we can quite easily do that these days by having the structure not interfere with the tree. It's not fixed to the tree or anything, it's freestanding, but it is around the tree. So you'll see me now doing the interior. We've of course got all the mod cons that you could ever possibly need, but yeah, you should be able to completely live off the grid with all of the extra things that I've added in here. I've put lots of activities as well for you to do that don't use electricity, because it's important as well to have not everything rely on electricity. And yeah, so we've done that one. We've got the walls helping you. We've got the generation of energy. We've done minimal damage to the existing ecosystem by building this tree house around the tree and not kind of digging up and making a whole lot of disturbance. But also, this is going to highlight the importance of maybe when we are doing things like this to improve the environment. So the treehouse was about doing minimal damage to the environment, but then we're going to add in a gorgeous lake into this lot, and so we're going to say that that one has been added. By adding in this man-made lake, we are adding in a whole entire new ecosystem that are reliant on the water and all of the plants that go around it. So yeah, that one's going to be coming in. I'm just doing all of the interior here. I'm finishing off the treehouse. So yeah, I have used the tool mod for the first time ever. And that was a little bit of an experience, but yeah, I've used the tool mod. Also, this lot is a 64 by 64 in San Myshuno. I felt like it needed to be a mini oasis inside of the city, and this lot is just perfect. You have all of the city views around it, but then you have this just kind of chunk of greenness in the middle. So it was kind of like a sanctuary inside of the city, and that's what we went with. Here we're doing the bathroom, and all of the items in here are of course repurposed, recycled. They are not new, and that was the main aim of this, is trying to reuse rather than create new. And if you do have to create new, you're thinking about all of these sustainable issues, like things like even making sure the glues that you're using are not harmful to the environment. So that's what we did there. All of the very, very chic bathroom items you saw there are all in game already, and I really thought that the Strangerville shower, I think it's the shower tub combo, worked really well. So you are going to need to use quite a few packs in this build, because I think the off-the-grid concepts came through many different times in the existence, so I've used those. But yeah, mainly in this build there is the eco lifestyle items used, because those are the ones that most linked with the Gucci off the grid collection. well, and the whole principle and message that we're trying to get across. Also, I think it's great that, as I said before, I think it's great that Gucci decided to collaborate with us, the community, which myself and Grimper Cookies are very much part of the community, rather than EA. I think it's a little bit more authentic to collaborate with the community. It's not a purpose of selling a pack in the game, and I think it's a great message. Anytime that you can have a collaboration like this that also has a good message, I think is a bonus. And of course, you guys get this cool build out of it, which I think is great. And also you get all of Grim Cookies CC items as well. I'm going to talk about those when they actually come up on the screen, because there's quite a few of them, and they're all the Gucci Off the Grid collection items. So I'm going to talk about those, but in this build, there was a lot of detailing. So you'll see here I've used debug items. We've got your fresh fruit juice. I did off camera go in and add in some fruit trees and plants as well, so that you can truly live off the grid. So on this one, you can go foraging for wild berries, fruits, vegetables. They are scattered throughout the lot. You'll see I went totally ham on the landscaping on this one, because I did want it to just be like a little mini oasis. And as you can see, at night time it looks pretty good as well, with all these candles used around the area so that you aren't using so much electricity. I thought that was very important as well. Of course, your energy is semi-limited using wind turbines. Of course, you're not generating whole chunks of energy, but you should be able to generate enough energy to power everything that you need on this. This is a one single bedroom house. You could actually always extend this out to the left, away from the main section of the treehouse, but you do have everything you need in here, like a dresser and all that stuff. So you could extend it out and then put a double bed in here, but to keep it as authentic to the concept artwork, I decided just to put this single bed in here, because the treehouse went smaller as you went up, so did I. And yeah, this was all built quite a while ago. So some of the campaign shots for the Gucci Off the Grid collection used stack windows, which we didn't actually have at the time. When I built this, stacked windows were not a thing, so I didn't use them. It would be great maybe if you guys played around with this. Maybe you do your own little additions to it and do the stacked windows. But yeah, it was done that long ago that we didn't have the stacked windows. So you can see now I'm putting in the lake. If you are a regular of my channel, you know that I do love a good natural pool. We're going to call this one a lake. I wanted the landscaping for this to be really natural, look untouched. And I think it was all about it being authentic and not looking so staged, if you understand what I mean. So everything I've used predominantly debug plants to do this. A tip is, if you want your landscaping to look natural and like it's a part of it, I always pull from trees that are already existing in the world, which you can only unlock by going into debug. And then also all of the other plants that you're going to find in debug are a little bit more realistic looking. I think the ones that are found in the regular build by catalogue are a little bit more cartoony than the ones that are found in the world. They're slightly more, I'm not going to call them alpha, but just they have a bit more realism to them. So I use that so that everything matches in. So going around, I'm going to put so many grasses in here, so many bee friendly plants that you're not going to know what to do with yourself. But yeah, I have left paths, natural paths going around, so that your Sims are going to use that rather than try it. I don't think your Sims do normally walk through grasses like that because they have a large footprint, but I have done natural paths there, just the stone, the pebble path, so that your Sims can get to the build. We've got a letterbox here, so this is a residential lot. If you know anything about game, you'll know that this is normally a park lot. You could keep this as a park lot and I think it already has the requirements. I'm pretty sure it already has the requirements for a park lot, but I have designed it to be a residential lot. We've put in things into the build that are helpful for educational purposes as well. So I thought it would be great. Not only is it great to have a lot that's all about sustainability, but something that you can use to educate children as well. So down the bottom of the build, you'll see me later, I added in the critter boxes, which you can use to generate power. I use the ones that are all painted and they look like kids have hand painted them. So I thought this would be a great lot to bring kids, to teach them about the environment. So we're trying to bring in a bit of realism of what you would use the lot for in real life. And then, of course, we've got benches so people can enjoy the view and sit down. And of course, we've got a food stall there. That's for the kids to eat when they come. Of course, all of that is going to be made with produce taken just from this lot. So we're thinking about using local produce and minimizing our carbon footprint. So that was all of that. And I almost forgot. I had a third lot trait that I totally got distracted and forgot to tell you about. We also have the lot trait of reduce and recycle. So this lot generates compostable and recyclable trash, and outdoor cans are no longer bottomless. Actively managing the trash output is a must. This reduces the waste footprint, which we all need to do in our lives. So I thought that one was a really actually good one, because normally the bins are bottomless. Your sim just has an outdoor bin, they put the stuff in there and that's it. There's no more. And I just thought this extra lot trait made you think a little bit more about your waste and what to do with it. So yeah, I added that one in for just a little bit of realism to help you think about these kind of issues. So yeah, I'm putting in more and more and more and more and more greenery, and I just wanted this to be as natural looking as possible. So we have all of the bee friendly flowers, we have all of the insects are gonna love having these stones and all of these different areas to go into. We've also got the fallen trees, we still got the logs there. That is a great place for insects to live. I was going to say to grow, no, to live and to thrive. We also have all of the lighting here, of course, is LED lighting as well. LED lighting for the inside. So when we haven't used candles, we're using LED lighting because they last so much longer and use so much of a smaller amount of energy to power up. And so that's what we decided to do. Just everything in here is about sustainability, reducing our carbon footprint, but also doing it with some style, because I think if it's a Gucci off-the-grid treehouse, I think we'll all agree it's going to have to be very stylish. So that's what we've done, and I'm super happy with the way this all turned out, and it has just been such a great project to work on. And also getting to know Grim Cookies a little bit better. We've talked before, but we have really collaborated together and kind of been able to bounce ideas off of each other for this one. And I just urge you to look at his video, which is going to be linked down below as well. And all of this is going to be on Gucci Equilibrium's different social media and their website. So yeah, I'm just so happy that I got to do this. And it's one thing to do a brand partnership, and it's another thing to do a brand partnership which is actually for a good cause. So I'm so happy that this was my first brand partnership and it got to be for such a great cause. And yep, so we're still landscaping, as I said. Very important. The more plants, the better, is my way of life, and that's what I've done throughout all of this. And I think it just makes this into a little sanctuary and oasis, and it's great to kind of have that in the city. I think like city planners also think of this a lot. Quite a few cities in the world, they always have this kind of little green, well, not little, normally a large green space to kind of counteract the whole city vibes. So here in London, like, we have quite a lot of parks to offset the fact that we're in a city. Predominantly, like Hyde Park example is a very, very big. We've got Regent's Park, lots of different parks that are absolutely huge, as a little escape from the city. And then of course, you always think of, when I think of parks in cities, I always think of Central Park in New York, which is just stunning. And again, it does kind of, this lot here in San Myshuno does remind me of New York and the lot. And there's this famous view when you're in Central Park and you can see all the skyscrapers in the background, and this lot very much echoes that. So yeah, I think it blends in so well. I just like the whole concept of having a little escape from the city here. And if you want it to be a park, it can be a park. Or if you want it to be, I think you could, in theory, zone it to a community lot as well. I haven't played around too much with those new community lots that came with Eco Lifestyle, but you could do. I have used a mod to change this into a residential, because this is zoned as a Central Park only. In the game, by default, this can only be a Central Park, but I'll leave that mod by Zerbu. I think it's by Zerbu in the description as well. But I implore you to go to the Tumblr post, because it's going to have all of this detailed with all of the links straight to it. I think I'm probably going to put just a link there to the main first things that you're going to need to know, but the Tumblr post is going to have all of this detailed, linked to it, and the download for this lot as well is going to include all of the custom content you're going to want and need in it. And yeah, so we're just putting in the benches, as I said, because you can also have visitors here to enjoy this environment. And you'll see my sim self just off in the distance waiting, because as I said, I did use the tool mod for the first time in this build, and you need to do that in live mode. So I've done that, and you can see we're putting in the power sources as well here. And yeah, so now we're putting in all of the Gucci Off the Grid collection items. We have the Gucci the Gucci Off the Grid duffel bag going in on the top floor, and then we have the Gucci Off the Grid high top sneakers. And I just wanted to kind of dot these around the lot. This, I think, is my favorite piece. It has to be the Gucci Off the Grid backpack. If I could have one of those in real life, that would be great, please. And I've used the tool mod because I wanted to have the Gucci Off the Grid fedora kind of just at an angle on the arm of the chair. I just wanted it to look as natural as possible, and I'm definitely going to be using the tool mod more to get these slightly more lifelike situations. We've also got the Gucci Off the Grid sneakers there, because we need to showcase all of these amazing items. And yeah, I was thinking about putting it on the side table there, the fedora, but no, it looks so much better just angled on the chair as well. And of course, this chair is sustainable. It's made from old pallets and fits in beautifully with the rest of it. Then we move on to the inside, and we've got the Gucci Off the Grid mini bag. We're putting that up here. I don't think I end up leaving this here. I think I put it back next to the sofa, and then I end up putting I think I end up putting the pouch there instead. yes, I put the pouch up there. So that, again, adding a bit of realism, was just hanging there. And all of these items that Grim Cookies, all of these items have been created in the game by Grim Cookies. These all give you a very nice environment. They increase your eco footprint, and also your Sims are in a better mood when they are surrounded by these different objects. And then this last one that I'm putting in here, I'm putting in the Gucci Off the Grid tote bag. I thought this was going to be your reusable shopping bag. Here in the UK, we are very much encouraged to use reuse our bags when we go shopping, so we added that one in there. So we are into the fly through. I'm not going to talk anymore. I just want to say, please look at the description box for all the links, and thank you so much to Gucci for making this possible, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye guys.
All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.